What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video. We're not talking about the King of Fighters All-Star today. Not really. I mean, kind of in spirit. We're going to be talking about another King of Fighters game, though. We'll talk about it. I'll give you guys the information. We'll get there. But before we go ahead and get into all of that and more, make sure if you guys haven't already done so, you smash that like button and subscribe. And let's just go ahead and talk about the King of Fighters Arena that will be coming to our mobile devices later on this year. Yes, that's right, you guys. If you want all of the information on this, I'm going to go through a few things today and kind of discuss my opinions on this, but I will have sources in the description to all of the information we talk about, as well as some additional information that we aren't even going to be going over in today's video, but I am going to give you guys the most important information first. So basically, for those of you who have not been keeping track, and I could honestly forgive you if you haven't been keeping track, because to be honest, this is going to be an NFT based game, so it isn't going to be for everybody, which we are going to talk more about. However, it will be coming out later on this year, and it is reusing a ton of the King of Fighters All-Star assets. Now, this is by Netmarble, however, it is by a different team on the Netmarble side, so it isn't going to be by the devs over on the King of Fighters All-Star side. It's just that they are basically using and lifting a bunch of their assets, and by a bunch of their assets, I mean they're cloning their game and they're adding NFTs to it. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first thing here I'm going to go ahead and talk about is going to be the Netmarble Neo Geo announcement for the King of Fighters Arena blockchain game at Tokyo Game Show 2022. Now, this was posted over on KoF's website, so if you guys want to check it out, again, link will be in the description. But let's just go ahead and hop into here, and we'll go over the basic information and the more important information as we go. The game currently only has a teaser website in English, which is where we just were. However, at TGS, more details of the game were revealed. Now, if you guys want to, there is a Discord for this game. You can go ahead and jump into it. There's a bunch of us that play the King of Fighters All-Star already over there, and honestly, most of us are just there because we want to see the world burn. So that's pretty much where we're at. But if you guys take a look at this, though, the article goes on with the title looking suspiciously similar to the King of Fighters All-Star mobile game. That's because, as it turns out, KoF Arena is a blockchain title by Netmarble Neo, a subsidiary, again, not the same team, of Netmarble, featuring tokenomics and integrated with Marblex, Netmarble's own cryptocurrency. So again, guys, this is a crypto-based game. This is an NFT-based game. There is some stuff going on governmentally that we're not going to get into in this video as it pertains to cryptocurrencies right now, so we'll see how long some of this stuff can last in its current form. However, I think it's probably going to kill itself more than likely, but let's just continue. KoF Arena is scheduled to be released from October to December, so we're going to have some sort of release in there. You are going to be able to go ahead and register for early access. I believe it's September 28th is the exact date. So if you guys are interested, I know I will be going ahead and jumping into that just so I can go ahead and bring you guys some content on it, but you will have that ability next week, but it will be released sometime between October and December of this year. If you're allergic to cryptocurrencies, you can also try the King of Fighters All-Star, which I highly recommend. So, cheap plug. But anyway, there is going to be a reveal there. It's just a little poster. If that looks like familiar art, it probably should, and that is going to be a theme as we go. But according to the head of Netmarble Japan's game design, KoF Arena is being developed as a play-to-earn title. Aside from being that, though, it aims to realize a dream battle for KoF fans, which we already have. It's called the King of Fighters All-Star, as it brings together a real-time action combat with characters from over 30 years of King of Fighters history. The game promises an upgrade system that will keep all characters reasonably balanced from each other so as to not destroy the game's balance. Yeah, we'll see about that, because Netmarble, yeah, they're known for balance. It's a different team, though. Who knows? Maybe they're better at it. But anyway, here's another asset here. This is going to show some of the character, or the titles the characters will be pulled from. And if you would like to see some of those characters, well, you can just open up the King of Fighters All-Star, or you can look at this. So basically, if you guys notice here, you are going to see a lot of King of Fighters All-Star characters. Again, they are stealing all their assets. It's pretty impressive. So we do have SS King there, which isn't going to be an SS anymore. It's probably just going to be King. But hey, you know, I know who I'll be picking on day one. But when it comes to what we got here, again, they're reusing a ton of assets. Again, guys, keep in mind, this has nothing to do with the King of Fighters All-Star outside of the fact that Netmarble is tied to it, and they're reusing a ton of the assets. By that, I mean all of the assets. The game is being optimized for smartphones and won't need any command inputs for you to enjoy the game, as you can move with a twin-stick control scheme and execute attacks, dodges, and special moves just by tapping the buttons on the screen. The overall gameplay, and again guys, I urge you all to go check out Snow's video, link will be in the description. She has some early gameplay, and yeah, when it comes to the gameplay there, it looks almost identical to the King of Fighters All-Star, asset-wise, gameplay-wise, almost everything looks similar, except for the fact that they went ahead and changed the button layout, right? So that's kind of what we got there. So we are pretty sparse on game modes as far as what they talk about in this. It seems like there's going to be mainly PvP. See how that works out for them. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait and see what other things are in here, because they really only mention a little bit of gameplay as far as how the gameplay will work insofar as modes are concerned, right? So the game is a 3v3 fighting game with you controlling one character at a time. One neat addition is that it includes 6v6 play, with each player controlling a specific character between rounds. So then we get here and we do take a look at the little fight screen here, which I'm sure you're not going to have your face there looking all like awesome in your game room. But basically that is what we got there. But they are planning on later on, I think next year at some point, they're planning on some sort of big tournament for this. We'll talk about it when we get there, but you can tell that it is slanted mainly to things like PvP and making money. So let's continue. So here's some more gameplay. Again, guys, if it looks like the King of Fighters All-Star, it walks like the King of Fighters All-Star, and it talks like the King of Fighters All-Star, it's not the King of Fighters All-Star, it's KoF Arena. What are you talking about? It's not the same at all. Anyway, here's another screen here. So I do like that they're using some of the sprites from the actual games. That's really cool. But let's continue down here. So the game is built under the system of tokenomics with different mechanics for the crypto and gamer portions of the title. And then they show some more stuff here that is not translated, but they will go into more detail. In KoF Arena, you can purchase a controller, right? When you play and win with a controller, you can earn fight money, which can be used to exchange tokens as well as earn mastery points to level up your characters. So we start to see the chain of revenue, otherwise currencies, but basically you guys can see where this is going, right? You need to have a controller, quote unquote, in the first place to even be able to make money and get some of this stuff, like for instance these tokens here. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking at there. This is not necessarily looking like it's going to be the most free-to-play friendly game in the world, but it is an NFT based game, so what did you expect? If you don't purchase a controller, you won't be able to earn tokens. So there you go. You will not be able to earn tokens if you do not have a controller, which means you spent money, right? But you can still get mastery points for upgrades, so you can still progress your characters. I would bet that it's probably going to be a little bit slower, more than likely, but we'll have to wait and see. Essentially, the P2E aspect of the title requires you to fork over a bit of cash first before you can actually start earning. And then they have a chart here showing that. So again, guys, what can you do, right? It's NFTs. So, and once you're finished with the gaming section of the title and return to the crypto side of the game, fight money will be turned into tokens, which you can then use to exchange for MBX. So there you go, guys. There's your crypto. So again, guys, crypto-based game in the King of Fighters, using King of Fighters All-Star content. Cool. You can also collect fighter cards, which can be used to earn money by collecting and trading them for other players, but the game also offers a new way to earn money! If you purchase a character fighter card or a specific character, a certain portion of the fight money acquired by players using that same character, which this is kind of cool. So basically you can get these cards of specific characters and you get a payout at the end of their seasons based on how many people use that same character, right? So if you purchase a character fighter card of a specific character, you get a certain portion of the fight money acquired by players using that same character, which will be sent to you as a dividend at the end of the season. The more of that fighter card you own, the larger percentage of that dividend you will earn. And there's some of your cards there. Does it look like the King of Fighters All-Star yet? So there's another little graphic there, again, kind of showing you guys how if a bunch of people use Kyo, then they all kind of get paid out if they have the card, right? KoF Arena is set to begin pre-registration on September 28th and launches in the months between October and December. So there's your pre-registration. Like I said, guys, again, I will have a link to the official website in the description if you want to go ahead and make sure that you are there for that when that happens. The game is also planning to host an esports tournament, like I had mentioned. We'll see how that goes. If you're worried about KoF All-Star being thrown under the bus or shut down due to Arena, I wouldn't worry so much, since this is being developed by Netmarble Neo and doesn't involve most of the core members from All-Star. So a lot of people had theorized about this. This is a completely different team and this is a completely different revenue stream. This is crypto. And I almost get the feeling that this isn't probably going to go well, only based upon what I've noticed as trends in the market with a lot of these games like this. They don't necessarily do the greatest because I'll get a big backlash. And to be honest with you guys, this is not necessarily looking like it's so similar to the King of Fighters All-Star from what we've already seen, that why wouldn't you just play the King of Fighters All-Star unless you're just steeped into the NFT and crypto market, right? If that's something you're big into, or you're like me or any of the other YouTubers you'll probably see do some videos on this game, if you're making content on it, that's one thing, but otherwise play KoF All-Star because you don't technically need to spend money in that game. It just helps a lot. Although there is a very clear argument to be made for reusing assets, if you're a KoF All-Star player, you can just not play Arena, right? When it comes out, and stick to All-Star instead. If anything, KoF All-Star is still going strong with what the recent Tekken 7 collab, and with loads of new fighting games on the horizon, from Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, there may be even more amazing collabs on the horizon, and then we get some more graphics here, and that's pretty much going to be that article. So, at the end of the day, guys, my opinion on this is very similar to the person who wrote this article. My opinion on this is, if you are not a fan of this kind of scheme, I don't want to call it a scheme, but this kind of marketing technique and this sort of kind of business tactic, then don't play the game, right? You can still play the King of Fighters All-Star. King of Fighters All-Star is there to get its assets stolen from, but it is still there in all of its glory, so you can just play that, right? This game in particular, I get the feeling, is going to be a niche within a niche. The King of Fighters All-Star is already a niche, and then you take that and you extrapolate upon that and just add and cram NFTs and crypto into it, and in my opinion, that dooms this to fail outright. I don't necessarily think this is going to go over well. I'm not even using my own kind of opinions on crypto, or not crypto, but NFTs to base this on. It's more so just my overall feeling based on what I know about how the King of Fighters All-Star is as far as a player base, and then how these types of things using NFTs have been received. They don't necessarily get received very well, and overall, I have a hard time believing that this is going to last very long or be very popular. Do not forget, we have seen plenty, and I do mean plenty, of King of Fighters related mobile games come and go and just not really become much of anything. And so then when you add into that, again, the NFT aspect of this, I really don't necessarily, unless they really do find a way to make this something that is friendly to everybody, and it ends up being something that isn't too predatory, and it's somehow balanced and somehow works, being that it's based mainly in PvP, we'll have to wait and see, you guys. But again, I really do not think that outside of just playing this as a LARP, just so I can go ahead and make content on it, it's going to be anything that I'm overly interested in. It just doesn't appeal to me that much. I already play the King of Fighters All-Star and have since the beginning. I'll continue to do that, and I'll just sprinkle this in whenever I don't know, feel like hating myself. But anyway, you guys, let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of this announcement, as well as all of these details to come out of the Tokyo Game Show. Again, I do not fault anybody for playing it. Go right ahead. If it's up to you, it's your prerogative. If that's what you're into, me personally, I'll play it for the content. But outside of that, I think that this is really just mainly scummy on Netmarble's part for reusing so much of the King of Fighters All-Star. It's basically just a clone. And I really just don't like when companies do that. I really don't. I think that it splits player bases. I think it takes players away from one thing and adds them to another. And at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of a predatory tactic. But hey, it's Netmarble. Who am I to say they're predatory? But anyway, you guys, you can say it in the comments section if you want. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out. Until the next one, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Continue. over.